So, you're thinking about moving to the Space Coast. Maybe you're coming from the Northeast, maybe Colorado, maybe Wyoming, wherever the case be. This is going to be about relocating to Florida, whether it's for a job opportunity, you're retiring, maybe you just want to move closer to family, whatever the case be. My name is Rachel. I am a real estate agent here in the Space Coast. I cover all the way from the north corner of Mims, all the way down to Mico, all the way in between Melbourne, Vieira, Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, all those areas in Brevard County. Last year, I helped 35 families move to the Space Coast, relocate here. So I have a ton of experience in relocating to the Space Coast. And so I wanted to make a video of what you need to know. I'm driving back home from some showings in Melbourne. So I am gonna be jotting off stuff from the top of my head of things to understand and know when relocating, because I did it once too. About 4 years ago now, I moved here from Rhode Island. I absolutely love it. It was life-changing, and I love helping families make the move just like I did. So let's go and start driving, and I'm gonna go over everything you need to know and then some. Okay, so let's first talk about making the move. I know it can be overwhelming. Maybe you have a job offer. Like for example, in my case, what happened was my husband and I were living in Rhode Island. It was winter. I was miserable. I grew up in the Northeast my whole life, and I was just done with it. That's when that sparked the whole interest of let's find a new job down here. And my husband's job actually had an office down in Cocoa Beach. So never had been here before, and I really think a lot of people, when they're looking, like, you know, maybe you guys have the job transfer coming up, you have no idea, you never heard of this place. Some people have, some people haven't. I've never heard of this place. I've only heard of the big places in Florida like Jacksonville, Miami, the Keys, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale. So like, what the heck is Cocoa Beach? Like, is it nice? And you know, so I kind of want to go over the area. So this is considered the Space Coast because obviously we have NASA here, we have SpaceX, we have Blue Origin, and all the other contractors in the space industry. So, you know, since the 60s, we've been launching rockets or satellites. So that's why we're called the Space Coast. But we're Brevard County, and for a long time, it was a lot, not much going on here. There's a lot more cool things going on here. It's just from my friends that I work with that have lived here their whole lives. They've always said how they wanted to leave Brevard County. Kind of like my small hometown from Connecticut. As soon as they graduate high school, leave. But a lot of people have come back because there's so much more to do here now. You know, you've got the beautiful beaches. It's still relatively more affordable than other areas of Florida or the United States for that matter. Obviously, prices have gone up. I mean, prices have gone up everywhere in the United States in the past few years. Anyways, we are on the east coast of Florida. We're on the Atlantic Ocean, which is always great because we get the breeze, because it's summer right now. It is super hot, but I'm looking at the trees right now. We've got a little bit of a breeze that really helps. And sometimes we got a big breeze that helps a lot with the hot, humid summers. Other than that, there's so much that's offered in Brevard County, whether you're looking for something more rural, looking for something more like master plan, like where I'm driving through right now, which is Vieira. You're looking to be on the beach, you're looking for somewhere you can have your boat in the back of your yard. So just so much opportunities in this area that could work for your lifestyle. And we are about an hour from Orlando, 45 minutes from the Orlando airport. I never hit traffic getting to the airport unless there's really an accident. It's pretty much an hour away with that traffic, so it's not bad at all. And we're just like such a great location. We're centrally located, but we're on the beach. There's 76 miles of coastline beach that can be pretty much used, most of it, which is really nice. You can spread out. I know like back in Rhode Island, we used to have these smaller beaches. You have to pay to park. Granted, you have to pay to park at some areas of this area. I like to pay in the free parking, so I find those areas, but nonetheless, like back in Rhode Island, it would be packed in the summertime, and you can hear someone else's conversation and have to listen to their music. Whereas here you have tons of miles. You can get away from people, enjoy the beach and listen to the waves, not have to hear other people's conversations if you don't want to. So pretty much that's what Brevard County has a lot to offer. So it's just something, if you've got that job offer or you're thinking about relocating somewhere nice in Florida, I always recommend taking the exploratory trip down. Reach out to me. I have these pretty much weekly now. I've got clients that will come, they meet me for coffee. I bring my map, I bring them a bunch of houses to go drive by, places to go see, and they kind of figure out, is this the right place for them? Sometimes I hook them up with my new construction reps so they can explore those neighborhoods if that's the route they want to go. And then you have your exploratory trip. And sometimes it ends up being that they are like, yes, we're ready to go. Here they end up going under contract in a new construction that's a year out, and it ends up perfect with their timeline. Sometimes I've had clients who I've met 2 years ago and then they just bought last month. So totally fine if you're whatever stage you are in this process to come down. I'll give you some places to explore, give you the general idea so that when the time comes, then you're all ready to go. Now, if you have the job offer and you don't have the choice, you're like, okay, I'm moving here, hopefully I like it, reach out. I can give you a great synopsis of the area. Usually at least either husband, wife, or whoever it may be will come down and check out the area. We can go see some houses. They know when you have that job offer, especially when you have a family, you don't want to be living in a rental. You want to go from your house, if you need to sell it, to this house, which has been very successful in this past couple of years. I haven't had much issues with clients who need to sell their home in another state and then move here. You can't really, not really a huge market where you can go under contract with your home not already under contract where you live. There, I have had it happen recently, but they were in a super hot area and they did get an offer. Actually, I have it happen twice. They're in a super hot area and they got under contract within a week, and I was able to explain that to the listing agent, and they went under contract on the house here, and then a week later they went under contract on the house that they were selling. So sometimes it works out perfectly, but for the most part, you got to be under contract in your house there. What I tell people, most of the time you can make it work out perfectly that you can buy the house here, maybe have a couple of days in between for you to drive down here. I can help with the sale down here, do the walkthrough for you. You can close remotely up there so that it works out. So then once you get here, you can move in and there's no short-term rentals. Sometimes I'll have clients buying new construction, or it doesn't work out perfectly where they find the house they want, so they'll go into a short-term rental. What's really nice is we have a lot of short-term rentals all throughout Brevard County, and a lot of them accept pets. I've had clients with 3 large dogs, cats, you name it, find short-term rentals on Airbnb or Vrbo, and it worked out fine. So don't be too scared of that. But for the most part, especially, families, they can line it up pretty perfectly and you can just move right into your brand new hometown here. So let's talk about things to know. So you're coming from the north or anywhere in the United States that's not Florida. Number one, we don't have basements. Here in Florida, we don't have basements. So a lot of people will try to get that 3rd car garage for more storage. Sometimes they're a hot commodity to get the 3-car garages, so depending on price range. But nonetheless, most people store a lot of their stuff in garages. A lot of people can't usually fit all their cars, maybe a golf cart in their garage because of that. So just something to keep in mind, a lot of people have to downsize. A lot of people have to get rid of a lot of stuff. So keep that in mind with the move. Also, something that I look out for a lot with my clients, especially ones that, their families, they're in a price range usually anywhere from $400 to $700. A lot of times the clients relocating are looking more so inland, anywhere from Cocoa down to Palm Bay area that I work a lot with, Merritt Island as well. So things that I look out for in clients is the age of the home. Does it have cast iron or PVC piping? That's big here because cast iron was used mostly for homes pre-1977 and it's failing now and it's all under the slab, so it can be pretty expensive to replace that. Other things to look out for: wood frame versus concrete block. Concrete block is definitely the best. I have had clients purchase the wood frame home, are completely fine with it, but insurance is a little bit more with it. So it's just something to consider, especially if you're looking in places like Rockledge or Melbourne where you can absolutely just get the concrete block home versus the wood frame. I usually recommend let's just weed out those wood frame homes, but otherwise sometimes I have clients that fall in love with the house that are wood frame and it ends up fine. The insurance isn't too crazy, but just something that I like to look out for clients. And then flood zones as well. So flood zones, sometimes I have clients who want to be on the water, whether it's a river, canal, a beach. You're gonna run into flood zones there, but for the most part you can avoid those. So let's just avoid them because you never know if that insurance is going to go up more, because it's going to be mandatory if you're financing no matter what. So for the most part, we can avoid those flood zones. And then a big question I get on initial calls a lot of times with clients is, are you going to be able to get insurance? And pretty much yes, you can absolutely get insurance. It just depends on the house, and honestly 95% of houses in this area are insurable at reasonable rates. It's just like the older homes, the ones on water, the ones in certain areas, the ones with those things I told you to look out for are the ones that are going to have either really high insurance or might have issues getting insurance. So it's just best to work with someone like me can help weed out those houses. And I like to just give it all to you up front so we don't have to waste our time looking at houses that are gonna have high insurance, that are gonna have issues that you're not gonna end up liking when you find out these things. So sometimes I call myself a Debbie Downer because I'm like, hey, this has this, but it ultimately works out best for my clients when they are well informed. So real quick, I know I kind of introduced myself earlier on in the video. My name is Rachel. I'm a real estate agent here. So if you are watching this and you're planning on relocating here, whether it's now or in the next 5-10 years, reach out. Down below in the description, I'm gonna have a Calendly link, and that you can book a call with me, a 30-minute call with me, and we can kind of go over these things and then figure out next steps for you. So that link is down below in the description, also the comment. Okay, let's talk about new construction versus resale. So there's lots of new construction in many areas of Brevard County. We've got a little bit in Merritt Island over by the Space Center, which is really big. I've sold a lot of houses over there to clients that are working over in those, Blue Origin, SpaceX, NASA, Kennedy Space Center. And then you also have new construction, a ton of it in Viera, which is the master plan community, all A-rated schools, a big hotspot. I would say probably 75% of my clients are purchasing over there because of what it has to offer. And then we've got new construction up in Titusville. We've got a ton of new construction in Palm Bay. So I've helped a few clients over in Palm Bay that are, maybe they are relocating for the job for Northrop Grumman, for Elder Harris, because those are over and down by there. Lots of opportunities for new construction. When it comes to new construction, it is a common misconception that if you don't use a real estate agent to purchase your new construction, that you're gonna catch a deal. Simply not the case. They pay me through a marketing budget. Most of the builders in Brevard County will compensate me to represent you, and it comes out of a marketing budget. So you might as well use that representation, especially if you're moving here from out of state, because I'm your eyes and ears out on the field. But nonetheless, even if you're here, I have tons of experience. I close about 20 new construction a year. There's just certain things you need to know that the sales managers over there are representing the builder that they're not going to make you aware of. And also, sometimes I've been able to catch deals by negotiating. There's certain builders, like Viera builders, that simply you just can't negotiate with. They have the demand there that they don't do that. However, there's some other ones that I am able to sometimes get a lower price or a bigger credit. So it's always really great having that representation, especially someone with experience in new construction like I have. So with new construction, like I said, there's opportunities all over Brevard County, and it's a great option. Build from dirt, but they take anywhere from 9 to 13 months. If you have a big family, dogs, you don't want to be stuck in a rental for a whole year, totally understand. Some of them have inventory homes or spec homes, but they're already ready. There's one coming to Rockledge right now that's actually going to be Viera schools that I'm really excited about, because it is actually priced lower than Viera Builders has to offer, and I think that one's going to sell pretty fast. And they are building from the dirt too, but I think they're going to be a little bit quicker built because it's a more of a bigger builder. I'm really excited about those. You can get something for under 500, a single family home, which can be hard with Viera Builders. So I'm excited about those. If that's something interesting, you make sure you reach out. Otherwise, you definitely usually have really low insurance rates on those houses because they're built to Miami-Dade standards, to all the hurricane standards and so forth. Really low insurance. I've seen insurance as low as $1,200 a year to about $2,000 a year, depending on your coverage. When I talk about insurance on resale homes, for the most part, clients are in the $2,500 a year range to $3,000. Anywhere really from $2,000 to $3,000 usually in these resale homes, as long as they don't have those big ticket items. Sometimes I'll have a client that falls in love with a house and it doesn't have what insurance wants, like window protection on it for wind rating for hurricanes or tropical storms, and that's something that insurance will give you a big deduction on if you have that. I will advise my client, look, you love this home, it's going to cost this much to get this all done, or you can do it yourself, and you're going to have your insurance is $5,000 a year right now, and once you do it, it's going to be a lot less. So once you close, do it, and then get the insurance reevaluated, and they'll get money back. Nonetheless, you can absolutely get insurance here. You can get cheap insurance in certain situations, especially new construction, but sometimes you have to wait for new construction. So that's where resale can be a better option, especially there's a lot of resales that are newer builds with it built in the last 10 years. And sometimes, I own a 1979 home with a pool, and I love my house, but yes, sometimes I have a leak at my sink right now, and the plumber has to come tomorrow. That's just what home ownership is, though. You always got something, but the nice thing is you always build an equity in your home. This place has a lot of of potential and lots of things coming into the area. The space industry has really made it boom. We're kind of in a neutral market for the most part, not so much in certain areas, seller's market. Some areas can be actually buyer's markets, like I believe Titusville and Palm Bay are buyer's markets for sure. But for the most part, it's more neutral. I just showed a home last week, gorgeous home. My buyers have to wait to get their home under contract and it went pending. So certain homes go pending very quick because they're turnkey, they're great price and they're great location. And then some homes stay on the market for 6 months. So it really depends. A lot of times people will on the phone call ask me, you know, are sellers negotiable? Do we have time with the home we love? And honestly, it's so subjective. It depends on location, when they listed it, how much they listed it for, condition of it, and so many things depend whether a home is on the market for a week or whether a home is on the market for 6 months. So I can help guide you. Like I just showed a home today that I think is probably going to go off the market pretty quick because it's really nice and it's priced well. You know, I have some clients that recently just got $80,000 off the house because it was priced pretty high and it needed work. It just depends on the house. And I have other clients that had to go full price offer because the house was in a great location, had everything they wanted. It was one day on the market. It already had 5 showings prior to ours, so we just went in hard. So it's so subjective on the house. So let's go over, I kind of feel like I gave a good feel for what it's like to work with me. I'm open, honest, communicative, but for the most part, like I said, the process really starts with let's get a call scheduled, and then if you can't make it here, if you're gonna do this all virtual, I'm super thorough. I can do video calls. A lot of times, if you could come for one, we could do a few showings. I can get a idea for what you like so that when the perfect home comes up and you're not here, we can do a virtual tour and I can tell you, hey, I know you're gonna love this, or hey, this smells like cat pee. And then you can decide if you wanna take on that cat pee smell or not. And sometimes that happens. I could do virtual showings and, you know, virtual all of that. I had a client recently that I never even met in person. She bought a new construction and everything was remote. I love working with relocation buyers because I was in your shoes once and I really know what you need to look out for and what it's like to move here and move to a new place. I know it's scary, it's stressful, but for the most part, it can be, I try to make it as stress-free as possible. I know it's impossible to make it completely stress-free, but I'm here, boots on the ground, to help you as much as possible. So if you are relocating to the area, whether it's for the job, retirement, move to family, whatever the case be, make sure to reach out. I help mostly with sales, but if you need a rental, maybe for a year. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video so YouTube sends you notifications when I post a new video every week. I'm Rachel Langley. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.